Keno.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Are we live?
We are live. It has been a rough start today with some technical difficulties.
Yeah, turn your mic up a little bit. Turn your mic up. It's just a tad.
Just a tad, he says. Is that tad good enough, sir?
Still kind of low, but I may be low too.
Okay. All right. So, how are you doing?
Good. There you go. Mic is better.
Thank you. I appreciate the input, sir.
Uh, I'm good. It's Friday. Uh,
Yeah.
I need some drinks.
Never a dull moment in the world of the advocators. You don't have any drinks?
Nah, man. I'm doing water, man. I can't. Trying to back up off the liquor. Did you put the show so I can say share it, man?
I
I don't
did
see
put
where
the
I can share.
show so you can share.
I'm trying to work
I
on that
posted
now.
it.
Uh, Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to share so people on
More
my page
technical
can see.
difficulties.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what? This
technical
is a
difficulty.
work in progress. We will get there a little bit at
Yes.
a time.
There we go. I see it. I can share now and say we are live. Um see.
So, yeah, you go ahead and work that out.
All right, we're
I'm
good
still
now.
over here trying to get this audio equipment in order, but I'm really liking the show we've got lined up. We've got a few topics that I'm excited to discuss.
That are hot off the press.
Are they hot
America.
off the press?
Nah, they ain't too hot off the press, but I'm ready. I'm ready to give
Yeah,
my
nah,
my my 2 cents.
I understand.
My 2 cents and a dirty nickel.
2 cents and a dirty nickel. Okay.
Yep. 7 cents. Lucky seven.
Worth of what?
I don't know. I'm just talking, man. I'm just talking.
All
Man,
right.
it's Friday, man. I'm tired. Just put my kid to bed, man. Hey, dude, being in your 40s having toddlers, don't do it. Don't do it, man. Get somebody pregnant now. If you ain't 40 yet, go on ahead and well, don't just get anybody
That's
pregnant because you end up in child support court and all that stuff, man. But find you a good woman,
yeah, you
That,
don't want to end up in that child
yeah.
support court. I've heard it's a beast.
Yeah. Stop curving them big girls. If that big girl gonna like you and take care of you and good for raising children, man, go and get that big girl a chance.
That's where you want to go with that?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, brothers out there. I know, there's a chick you chasing, that look like Lori Harvey. She don't want you, man. A lot of people rank themselves higher than they should be. They play out of their league. Play in the league that you are in. Go on, get that knock knee pigeon toed girl, with a little extra, a few
Knock
extra pounds
kneed
here and there.
and
And
pigeon toed.
yeah, because you cross-eyed and you got them rolls in your neck, and y'all equally yoked, man. Stop chasing
A
them
lot of
them eights, nines, and tens, man. You ain't gonna never get them, brother. Plus you work at Chick-fil-A.
a lot of
So
fellas do have those hot dogs in the back of the neck that hold
yeah.
like that
So
three pack of
man,
hot
yeah,
dogs in the
yeah,
back of
yeah.
the neck.
Right. Know where you at in the game. Know where you are at. That's all I'm saying. It's my
Hey,
public service announcement. Starting
this
this
week
thing
has
off.
been hell
Oh man.
because I have been on a juice cleanse all week simply because I saw the hot dog packs forming in the back of my neck. They were more like the little wiener schnitzels you get in the
Oh shit.
can. You know what I'm talking about?
He had some of
They
them
weren't
them,
quite
them
hot
waffle
dogs.
cookies. They look like waffle
They're,
cookies. You ever
they're
seen them cheap
Slim
waffle cookies?
Jims.
Hey
Woman
man.
kissed the back of my neck, she could step into a Slim Jim or
You too.
snap it. Is that what it
Uh,
was? Snap it to a Slim Jim.
yeah, man. You gotta get fit, man. When we coming out of the quarantine, they cut the distance from 6 feet to 3 feet. Get out there, run, jog, man. Do it all, man. Get you a bike, whatever you need to do, but get the weight off, man. Some people said they gained that quarantine 15, but I seen some people look like they got that quarantine 35 plus. But it's all good.
Hey, I say if you like you know, being especially hot in the summer and mildly warm in the winter. Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now them big girls, I'm gonna need y'all to put some powder in them creases. Put some powder in there. That's the only thing that keep it kosher down there.
Okay.
Just put the powder.
So,
But anyway, all right,
what do
I
you
went
have
off
for
on
the
a
big
tangent.
guys then? What do you have for the? Where do they need to put the powder?
Oh shoot, big guys are we straight. We player in here. Don't
Really?
worry about it. Yeah, we player.
That's where you're gonna go with that?
Yeah, just get your paper up. You gotta have paper. If you're a big guy, you must have money. I cannot.
Yeah. Okay.
You must have your
Okay.
paper right. So
Yeah, and you know what? She's all for that because you're probably gonna die of hypertension, or diabetes, or something else nice and early. Leave her a little nest egg
yeah. So
so she can go buy some other guy's sweaters.
yeah, hey, I mean, she cheating on you anyway if she with you, but get your paper right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. Yeah. Rough start. We got started late. Let's go ahead and get into the first topic, which is a topic you shared with us.
uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
yeah.
we go.
Yeah, there was a study did. There was not too much to this article, but I thought it was interesting. Men only listen to partner for 6 minutes. And I me personally, I think this was a stretch. I think 6 minutes was very generous. I'm thinking more like three. I'm thinking like 2 minutes, 15 seconds. You just got to make sure it ain't an emergency what you listen to, or make sure it's something you ain't already heard. I mean, we as men naturally have filters, so we filter what we need. So after about that third minute, we start drifting off, and I don't know. I just thought it
So
was
I'm going to
interesting.
say this.
Hmm.
You are a married man.
Absolutely.
So 3 minutes to
Yeah, you having sound
such
problems.
as
Your
you there?
sound is janky, more technical difficulties.
Yes, they have been haunting me all day, trying to get right for you all. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you. So go ahead.
Awesome. So as I was saying, your 2 minute limit, that's generous, extremely generous. I tell my female counterparts, hey, honestly, I got about 30 to 45 seconds. Then you need to bring something up that I have an interest in hearing, and then you can go right back to what you were talking about.
Oh, so you're
So, but
shaving. You're shaving even more time than I did.
oh, if I'm staring at you 60 seconds into the conversation and you haven't changed the subject, I'm gone. I'm in a different place.
I don't
I'm
hear nothing. I don't hear nothing.
not a thing. I mean, like, honestly, women, first of all, ladies, sometimes you start the conversation off with something that it's not even what you really the point you want to get across,
Right.
but it's also not an attention grabber. You know, I heard a comedian say when you get on stage, you have to grab the audience's attention within the first 7 seconds.
Yep.
And I think this holds true for conversations between people. So in this study, they talked about the fact that men only listen for 6 minutes, but then if they're well, that's when they're talking to their partner. But if they're talking to another man, they might listen for 25 minutes
Oh yeah, absolutely,
before they
absolutely.
disconnect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And sometimes that's true. There are times when guys talk to me and I am out within the first 15 to 20 seconds because he starts the sentence off with sports.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't do sports like that. So I
Right.
can't really hold a conversation intelligently. I just have to give them the male version, talking to a male version of the you don't say. Really? Like, hey, you win some, you lose some. They'll get it
Right.
next time.
Right. I always say when I walk into a room full of, and I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it. When I walk into a room full of black men, say there's 10 black men in a room, you got 10 sports GMs that are not being paid. So yeah, I kind of like, when you focus on other stuff, sports become less and less important, especially when you're trying to become an entrepreneur and find creative ways of making money. You don't have time for sports. So I find myself um, being in those sports conversations less and less. Unless we talking about Jordan, I can talk about Jordan all day. But I don't
I
know
actually,
these new cats. I don't know what's going on.
I actually had a chance to see Jordan play live, and that was special because my
Yeah.
aunt took me when I was visiting her in Chicago as a child. So,
And was it everything you hoped it would be?
the game,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. We'll say that it exactly was. My thing for me is really the time spent with family, but
Okay.
I digress. So yeah, I think we've hammered this one. They could have saved some money, not done a study, asked any man, uh, anywhere in the world, and gotten all the results they needed.
Oh yeah, we
Uh,
check out. We check out. This
on this particular topic,
this is
you ask a
propaganda.
man, say what?
I said this article is propaganda.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's the setup.
Right.
Yeah, just it's there to get men in trouble. Is this true? Oh, now I read an article because this particular link doesn't have a whole lot of detail.
Yeah.
I did read an article that was about this study that said women will actually check in the middle of conversation to see if you're listening.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
give clues as to whether or not your partner is actually listening. But on the flip side, women also said after a certain period of time, they stop listening to their partner. I think, but they have a longer attention span. They're willing to wade through the nonsense that they have no interest in longer than we are.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I do it, and you get used to it. You try to come up with different mechanisms to try to play it off, but just sometimes you just drift off so much you forgot that you're trying to even try to fool the your significant other to make you think you're listening. But I mean,
Hey,
you got to work it out. Some women get super
meditation.
angry. Yeah, some women get super angry. Some just, oh, he ain't listening. And they check out, go do something else. So
Meditation is the key. Meditation will help you focus on how to stay engaged in a conversation.
now,
Okay,
why do you think this is? This is a good thing. Why do you think this is? Because I feel like men and women with today's world with social media and all this stuff, I feel like everybody's attention span has gotten shorter.
this is true. I mean, I agree with you. I believe it to be true. Uh, and that's why, because there is so much going on all around us all the time. I mean, your phone has how many hundreds of apps, not to mention the fact that it is directly connected to the rest of the world. So while somebody's talking about something that you really don't care to hear,
Yeah.
between the television and the cell phone and the video games, and or things to do,
Yeah.
somebody calls you up talking about the color of the drapes that they just bought, and you're trying to get work done.
Yeah, yeah. And two, I mean, even modern jobs, we both work in the technical field. Even modern jobs, you really don't have time to focus on one thing, especially, if you work in IT production environment where, things are issues are coming up. You got to balance, a lot of things. So you don't really have time in life to focus on one thing. And even when you get home, you got to deal with the kids, you got to deal with your spouse. You probably got to finish up any work you got left, just do stuff around the house. So, I mean, the world as it is now is just constantly moving. We don't have time to sit back and reflect and even actually have a conversation with people without looking at our phone or looking at our watch and, oh, I gotta go, or wrap this up. So we just don't live in that space anymore.
Yeah. Well, I have a feeling if not your wife, then there are some people out there who would say, make time.
Right.
All right. Next topic, because I want to get to the last one.
Yep.
So you posted this about the Colorado shooter,
Yeah.
and it says, when will America acknowledge its biggest threat? You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so once again, we have another white man who walks in and just rat a tat tat on everybody, random, no really rhyme or reason, just the other than they having a bad day or whatever they come up with. We don't even hear about Al Qaeda anymore, because the American male has far out terrorized America than some guy from overseas, suicidal bomb or whatever. I mean, time after time after time, when will America acknowledge that its biggest threat is the white male? And what's even crazy about it, the white male is in power. So, what can you do? We're kind of at a stalemate. You don't know what to do.
Now, you said something there.
Yeah.
Uh, you said America's biggest threat is the white male, but then you also threw in that the white male is in power. So, with that, I'm going to say, who's America? Because as we know, there are multiple Americas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And thanks to Joe Biden, we're getting to see so many different aspects of the different Americas. Because I honestly didn't know that Asian hate was a thing. Like, I didn't know that the Asian community was being threatened to the degree that has been exposed recently. And we discussed that last week. But there's a different America for white people than there is for black people. So this particular threat right here, it's sad. It's horrific that there are people out there that will do these types of things, shoot people randomly without motive. It's bad that people shoot people with motive. It's bad enough people are getting killed right and left, motivated. But then this. So are they the biggest threat? I don't know. According to some white people, they are not the biggest threat. These are isolated incidents that occur, and the real threat is in the streets, in the shadows at night. And it's a good thing that we have the police in place to protect all of us from those ne'er-do-wellers.
And and when you unpack it, you said something interesting there. You said that this is isolated incidents. It's always a lone wolf. But when you find this lone wolf and they dig into his background, go to his house, or they look at his social media, there's always some kind of white supremacist ideology behind these lone wolves. So it's, oh, they did it by themselves, they were troubled, this and that. But there's a network of these dudes. They trade information. They have kind of a dark web, encrypted messages. They meet. They drive from state to state. This is a very organized thing, and there's there's a few that just step up to martyr themselves. Hey, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do the work that we need to do. We need to bring this government down, or we need to get rid of black people. Whatever their motive is, this is not. This is rarely a lone wolf thing. This is kind of the underbelly of America showing his head again. So I really don't understand why they go in and shoot up random people. I mean, that part of it I don't understand yet, but maybe it's not for me to understand, and maybe it's some kind of symbolic thing.
So I'm going to throw this out there. I said it last week. I'm going to say it this week. People do not know how to manage their emotions. Because we stopped making people manage their emotions as children. And when they get older, they don't know how to handle certain situations. So I'm still going back to it's anger, or it is a desire to have your name in the news. What I want to understand is, why is the shooter still alive? As many people as I have seen shot on television by actual police,
Yeah.
when those people may or may not have had a weapon, why is this man still alive? Walked out in handcuffs. I'm willing to bet that if we could see a picture of him right now, no bruises, no cuts, no broken bones. But we know in past, other suspects were taken around the corner and badly beaten before they made it to the holding cell.
Yep. For
Or
that
maybe they
busted
made it to the holding cell and then they were badly beaten.
for that busted tail light. Well, I look at it like this, and I say this all the time. I was like, white people always get the benefit of the doubt, no matter what the situation is, whether it's speeding or murdering a church full of black people. They always get the benefit of the doubt. That's why, to me, that's why serial killers can operate for so long, especially a white serial killer. Like going back to even Jeffrey Dahmer's. When you go back and look at, that whole story of Jeffrey Dahmer's, it was kind of known in the neighborhood that he had funny stuff going on, and people had been complaining about the smells coming from his apartment, and all kind of stuff. A lot of questionable stuff was going on at his house. Police were called there, but he always got the benefit of the doubt because he was a white male. And where Jeffrey Dahmer's is in Minnesota, right?
No.
Milwaukee,
Thank you.
Wisconsin. Okay,
Don't
my
put
bad.
that
My
on
bad.
Minnesota.
Okay, yeah, he was in Milwaukee, but Milwaukee, you know, white town, white people run it. So he always got the benefit of the doubt. Now, had he not got the benefit of the doubt and they treated him like they treat the average black person, Jeffrey Dahmer's would have been stopped 10 years prior. So, that's why this kind of stuff can go on. Most serial killers who are white, they kill 3, 4, 5, 6 times before they're caught. White men who kill their wives, oh, they killed the wife, whatever they say, it probably happened. She disappeared, she ran away, or she slipped and fell. It's usually second, third wife down the line where they were like, wait a minute, he might be a killer. But if you, as a black man, if I pinch my wife, oh man, they throwing a book at me.
Well, that much is definitely true.
Yeah.
About the rest, I don't know. I question that. I recall a case a while ago where they followed this former cop who was believed to have murdered his wife. They followed him around for months and couldn't find anything. But they tried.
They couldn't find anything, or they didn't want to find anything.
Well, it's funny you say that because when you're talking about Jeffrey Dahmer, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I just hear this conversation. It's like, police, open up. Yeah, sir, we got a phone call that there's something going on in here, some strange smells, some strange sounds. Can you tell us, is everything okay in there? Oh, yeah, I'm just in here eating niggers.
Yeah.
All right, sir, you keep going.
Yeah.
You continue on. Carry on, sir.
Right. So with that being said, who knows what this guy who shot up this place, who knows what has happened leading up to this. I think I did read that he had some kind of violent history from high school, like he beat the hell out of a few people at graduation. I don't really remember exactly what it was, but he did have a violent history. So you know when is a person flagged to say, hey, this is a person we need to keep an eye on? I don't know. It's just a weird thing. But like I said, white men get the benefit of the doubt, and when they go in and murder random people in the grocery store, then we're like, oh damn, how could we have stopped this? What's the problem? Gun control. We need to stop them from getting guns. Nah, that's not the problem. Need to stop giving them the benefit of the doubt. Treat them like you treat everybody else. Did you freeze?
Can you hear me? I did.
Okay, you bet.
I'm back. Excellent.
Yep. All right.
Oh, the difficulties with this
Yeah.
technical difficulties of technical nature. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's get to it. This is the one. This is the one I want to talk about right here. Derrick Jaxn.
DJ.
Okay, tell us about Derrick Jaxn.
Okay, so for those who don't know about Derrick Jaxn, which a lot of people don't, if you're not really on social media, Derrick Jaxn is a self-proclaimed, I guess, what you would call a relationship expert, or he gives relationship advice, particularly to Black women, particularly to a certain kind of Black woman who has not had a lot of good luck with men, and they've been in certain situations with men, and he is there to tell them that it is not you, it is the man, and as men we are flawed and we ain't shit, and you ain't got to put up with it, and all the good pandering that a lot of Black women like to hear. He's kind of like the Tyler Perry social media. He puts it out there. No matter how broken and how much baggage you have, you are a queen and you deserve to be treated as such. So he is really popular amongst a lot of Black females. So everything he was preaching, men ain't this, men ain't that, they need to do better. Um, he wasn't practicing any of the shit he was preaching. I mean, he had hoes in different area codes, and he is a self-proclaimed Christian. Him and his wife, or heavy into Christianity, and God this and God that. But you know, God wasn't stopping him from reaching them, reading them DM messages, and sending hoes plane tickets. So he got caught cheating, and as of late, him and his wife did a video that they are destroying on Black Twitter and Instagram and everything. Countless memes. So unless you're living under a rock, you have heard of Derrick Jaxn. So
Are you
he is
talking about like this picture right here? This
absolutely,
that
absolutely.
was taken. I uh I call this the please don't take my money away.
Yeah, yeah. So, um, and I made the point on social media that Derrick Jaxn is a high earner. Not really sure how much he makes. I've heard that he makes north of $100,000 a month just from his social media. All his social media platforms have followings in the millions. So when you got a million followers plus, you're very marketable. You can make money in all kind of places. So he's a high earner, and typically when you're a high earner, basically, you your woman's gonna give you a few more chances than a brother making 30,000. So it doesn't surprise me that she want to stay and work it out, and they should, if they in love and that's his wife, whatever. But at the same time, he's really put himself in a bad position career wise, because everything you've been talking about has been a lie. And so I would say that his following is used to getting lied to. I mean, that's how you can follow
So
Derrick Jaxn. So, um,
this is here's the problem I have with this guy, right?
yeah,
So like you said, he so this is a quote. This is there is a quote that was taken from his WordPress page, his Derrick Jaxn WordPress.com or something like that.
Yeah.
And that I've done research about this man only recently because of all the information that's been going across my social media channels about with regard to him. And he, to me, I put him in the mind of a preacher.
Yeah, he is
He
absolutely a preacher.
is
Yes.
he does a lot of preaching, and he started off, I think his first video was actually geared towards men, but not. It's like, hey fellas, if this, that, this, and the other, and I'm, not getting into the details, but it's basically, this is how you need to be, fellas. But it kind of sounds like it's more for the women to watch.
Yeah.
And the majority of his following, I believe it's safe to say, is women. What I don't understand is, so these women are following this man, and he's an educated brother. He graduated from the University of Tuskegee.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's not just some clown that hopped on the internet and started and created a blog. He's been writing since he was in college, or had recently graduated from college at least. So very educated brother. All of the women that I've spoken to about him, oh yeah, he's fine, he's this, he's that, which, okay.
Yeah.
He is what he is. But he's a preacher. Why are you going to this guy, this man, and listening to what he has to say as if it's gospel? And a lot of women were doing this. He was basically saying things that women wanted to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the types of posts that women were posting prior to his being exposed.
Mm-hmm.
You always say the right things. Ain't no man worth stressing over, especially if they're a bum. Well, who's to determine whether or not this person is a bum?
Yep.
Anybody who is making statements about someone they don't know is making generalized statements.
Right.
So the ladies need to recognize and take it with a grain of salt. Okay, he says some stuff that I like, but one of the first pictures I saw of him said women or black men, or no, was it real men don't cheat? That's what it was.
Yeah.
Real men don't cheat, which is probably what has most people up in arms, because he got caught cheating. Actually, he was just exposed. According to him in the apology, he says his wife knew everything. So that's what he says in the apology. Whether she did or not, I don't know. I'm pretty confident he said it right about the time she looked at him with the side eye.
Right.
It was sometime between then and when she looked at him like, why are you holding on to my hand? Like, oh, now you want to hold hands? When I wanted to hold hands, you didn't want to hold hands.
Right.
And by the way, a lot of people are making a lot of noise about that bonnet, saying,
the bonnet of
really,
righteousness.
Is that what it's called?
He came and said something, the bonnet of righteousness, and she had on some military fatigue, some camouflage looking stuff, and said this, the armor of Jesus, or something like that. She looks defeated. She looks defeated.
Yeah, she does. There are a number of scenes in which, she looks like, I'm here, but I'm here for a reason that is beyond. We're just trying to heal. But she did say that she forgave him, and she said most importantly, God forgave him. And I appreciate the fact that that's what's most important, considering God probably forgave him before she did, because God is supposed to be the most forgiving of all beings, right?
Right.
So I'm in fact, I'm wondering if God really cares, but that's a topic for another discussion, but it's funny to me that's their recourse, a public apology, with her then spending the second 3 to 4 minutes of the 7 minutes talking about how she forgives him, and they're moving on.
Okay, let's keep it dead ass real. And I don't know if you look at celebrity blogs and you see what's in the news all the time, it's always somebody cheating. It's always somebody dating, somebody breaking up, somebody cheating. Let's just be honest. We don't understand once you become a man that makes a certain amount of money, man, the world opens up to you in a way that a lot of us don't understand. So, I mean, let's just say he's making 100,000 a month. 100,000 a month, that's 1.2 million a year. When you make 1.2 million a year, there's not a lot you can't do, and that includes women. Women know who are making the money. There's groupies in every industry, from church to the politicians. There's groupies everywhere, and so you are catering to women. So there are some women who are looking at his videos every week, and they are in love with this dude. So
Yes.
his DM is, and nobody works out that hard just to go home to his wife. He's fit. He keep
Hey,
his
he's got to
haircut.
protect his woman. He's
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
protect
So
his woman.
come on now. I mean, none of this had to come out, and I could tell you that that brother was in these streets.
What if he had to fight to prove his love? He wants to make sure that he is in shape to let any brother who steps up to his illustrious wife, uh, he wants to make sure that he can let them know, hey, this woman is spoken for. Back up, bruh. You see me
Hey,
holding her hand.
1.2 million a year, you got everything coming at you, and she's a lovely sister, but Derek probably
So
sees some stuff we don't even see in the streets.
beyond the money, I think you're speaking on something that holds a lot of truth, but I think it's even beyond the money. I mean, the brother's fit. He's dark skinned. He stays clean cut.
Yeah.
Um, so and I mean, he actually used to play football. He
Yep.
played football for Tuskegee University. So I think the fitness is just part of something that's been habitual in his life, because I'm pretty sure he went to school on a scholarship.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, ladies, do your research. You're listening to a man who spends most of his time and most of his post telling you why you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, which you may be, but
Hmm.
then why the man that you're with isn't shit. And
Yep.
what I'm seeing is this man trying to set all these females up to be single so that he can swoop in at his whim.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
that's what I see.
he is the pastor. You know, a lot of black churches are full of women, and they are there to see the pastor and listen to the pastor speak.
Yep. Yep. So this is his Instagram, and I mean, just look at the titles of some of these. 5 signs you were not the problem. The
Yeah.
part he left out about his ex. Why he gave his woman everything you deserved. If it doesn't scream panderer,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I don't know what does.
Yeah.
Moreover, I mean, like I said, preachers do the exact same thing. They
Hmm.
preach righteousness, but I can tell you I've been in at least 3 churches where the preacher, and this was growing up, where the preacher ended up in scandal.
Yeah.
Either they were doing something with a stepdaughter, or they were doing something with some woman that they had no business doing something with, or they were sending pictures to boys with them in a Speedo or
Uh,
a tutu. You know who that is.
yeah.
You know who that is. We talked about him a week or two ago.
But
But
yeah,
I mean,
it was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of time. This was a ticking time bomb. Like I said, you didn't have to. None of this had to come out, and I could have told you that that dude in these streets.
yeah, but so my biggest issue with with the whole Derrick Jaxn situation is now the ladies want to be upset, and they've completely, now remember, you're a genius. Like they're I don't know how many comments like this. Slapped me in the face with this one, meaning he hit her with some real truth. Uh, yeah, and it goes on and on. I appreciate your videos so much. And white woman, by the way, so not
Yeah.
just black women. But after he
Yeah.
was exposed, now it's watching his video sideways. Now, really, now
Yeah.
you're watching his
Yeah.
video sideways because you didn't have the foresight. So you're gonna blame him. This one, he makes me sick. I'm throwing up. That's how I interpret that. I
Yeah.
mean, it's art. So same thing, rolling eyes. You know, so now all these ladies want to switch. Like, why were you listening to him in the first place? Moreover, okay, so this man was raised in a single family home by his mother.
Yep.
Now, this is probably not going to sit well with a lot of people. Doesn't matter. Uh, if the person you were with was raised in a single family home, they are going to have their own hurdles to overcome when it
Yep.
comes to relationships because they didn't get to see what a real relationship is supposed to
Yep.
be like.
Yep.
They might have seen some people are lucky enough to have a stepfather step in who's actually engaged, or a stepmother step in who's actually engaged while they're at a young age so that they can see that between their parents.
Yeah.
But most people, no, they don't see that. They just
Yeah.
see in one door and out the other, in one door and out the other.
Yeah. There's definitely
So
going to be some deficiencies. Absolutely.
so why take advice from this man without doing your due diligence? Now, I have a family member who told me, is someone I look up to quite a bit, and he's been a what I would consider a model husband. Now he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have. It's not like he doesn't have any skeletons. He's
Mm-hmm.
got skeletons, but what he told me was, look, when I grew up, I didn't get to see that relationship stuff. I didn't get
Right.
to see that. So the way that I perceived the relationship was all mucked up. But when I married my wife, fortunately, her parents were still together, and her father showed me how what it was to really be a man and to be a husband to my
Absolutely.
wife.
Yep.
So, if both people raised in single family homes and neither one of them had an opportunity to see what a real relationship is supposed to be like, that can be problematic for that couple. And they might not need to be together. They might need to each find somebody who was raised by both parents so that that person can shed a little insight. This is what I saw when I was growing up. Now, not just both parents, but both parents in a healthy relationship.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
that too is important
Yeah.
because your parents might have been together 25 years just for you, which is
Yeah.
bad news.
Well, no, it still helps to shape you though if they kept it civil in front of you. One of the things
If
I'm
they did.
Yeah, if they did. One of the things I'm gonna teach my son is, hey, if you can help it. I mean, sometimes you fall in love with people, but if you can help it, man, make sure you find a woman that has had her dad or a male influence in her life, whether it was a stepdad, an uncle, a grandfather, whatever. I think that's important. And just from my experience, um, dating women who had bad relationships with their father, or no real male influence growing up, it was problematic, and for reasons I couldn't really explain. But it was very problematic.
Yeah, you said it to me years ago, and it never dawned upon me uh, that in the majority of my failed relationships, and honestly, it wasn't just her fault. It was primarily my fault because I wouldn't commit to them. But the women that I didn't commit to, that I was adamant about, like, they didn't have father figures, so they had this idea of what a man is supposed to be
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that they conjured up. I don't know if they conjured it up by watching television or talking to their girlfriends and picking up bits and pieces of this and picking up bits and pieces of that and just saying, "Oh, well, that must be what the perfect man is." But
Yep.
I think Derrick Jaxn, he was an outlet for a lot of those women.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was an outlet for a
and
lot of
and,
those women.
and just like any preacher, they tell you what you want to hear. Like if you had trouble relationships over time, and things are always going bad, yeah, it's refreshing to hear a male who you find attractive telling you exactly what you want to hear, that it's not your fault. And we joke about women and their accountability. So when you have a person like this, he kind of takes the accountability away from you and puts it on the man. And for us as men, we get a bad rap out here. We don't complain about women not nearly as much as they complain about us. And from what I see, what they're complaining about is actually really not the truth. I know a lot of good dudes out here, and even if they're not with their their child's mother, whatever. They're doing everything they can to be good fathers and being involved. That whole deadbeat dad narrative, yeah, it's out here, but I don't see it. It's not as prevalent as they would have you to believe.
Oh, we're definitely going to have a conversation about the deadbeat dad. Not
Yeah,
tonight, because I want to. I think that's a whole hour.
yeah,
I
that's a
I,
whole
I
hour.
think that's
So
a whole hour
yeah,
by itself.
and
But
and
yeah,
maybe it's who I surround myself with, but the brothers I know is putting it down and they taking care of their kids, and these women out here giving brothers a bad rap, and there's the other side to it which we won't get into, but doing everything in their power to keep you away
yeah,
and make you
yeah.
seem like a deadbeat dad. That is troubling, and I know too many people going through that situation. But anyway,
I
I
that
digress.
that that hits so close to home on so many different sides. It is
Yeah,
nuts, man.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
we'll definitely have that conversation. Actually looking forward to it, but now in the near future is not the time. But yeah, with regard to Derrick Jaxn, man, I
yeah,
mean, people need to remember, like, you've got to take things with a grain of salt. Kevin Samuels, same situation, sort of, kind of, but not
yeah.
really. And you have your feelings about Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
I have my feelings about Kevin Samuels, and we will see each other across the table on that one of these
Uh,
days. But this guy, yeah, house divided. I
yeah.
think it's just going to be like any church where
Yeah.
you have a certain percentage of people that say, "Oh, I'm never listening to this guy again," and they don't. And then you have some of those people who they do
Yeah.
still listen to him.
Eh,
And then you have the others who are like, well, I'm still listening to him because he tells me what I want to hear.
He tells me what I want to hear. And let's there are a lot of women out there that don't mind sharing and they don't see any problem with this. And I think that this could actually be an American thing because he is worldwide. So there's probably a sector overseas or in other places that are like, what's the big deal? So, there's a certain segment of women we're going to see, bashing and whatnot. But, there are a lot of people out there. Oh, well, so what? Um, every man cheats or, whatever their thoughts is. So I think he's going to survive this. What I do hope is I hope he can keep his wife. I hate to see anybody go through a divorce. I hope they can survive this. Do I think he's going to do it again? Absolutely. Um, it's crazy to say, but like I said, he's getting that bread. He's young, saying he
I
works
I
out.
still think
Yeah,
I still think the bread has absolutely nothing to do with it.
I
I
think
mean,
the
doesn't
bread
he live?
has a lot to do with it.
Isn't he in Atlanta?
I'm not sure, but I
I believe he's
know
in Atlanta.
I know
Let me
he
tell you.
was he was fluing them out. So the
Let me
bread
tell
has a
you
lot to
something.
do with it.
When I was I mean, that definitely helps. That's how you
Yeah.
have them in different area codes.
Right. Right.
But even if you don't have them in different area codes, if you've got locals, I mean, you don't have to have money for. I was playing pool one night, and I had this ring. My family gave it to me when my grandfather passed, and I wear it on my wedding finger. Uh, and I'm out shooting pool, and this woman spent about 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, girl, he's married though. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too bad too, cause blah 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 and blah blah. So then she's like, "Can I shoot some pool with you?" Yeah, you can shoot. And this was years ago, but yeah, you can shoot some pool with me. So you're married, huh? Mm, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
married.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am married, girl. You can go about your business.
Uh,
Uh,
if I
but
heard
I
to make
mean,
such a big deal, it didn't mean nothing.
nah,
But
yeah, no. I'm just my whole point. A lot of women don't care.
yeah.
Um, and in fact, I was talking to a friend the other day, and she was telling me like, "Why are these fellas out here lying like this? Like, you don't even have to lie. All you got to
Mm,
do is tell the truth." And there are women out here who will go for it. And he's one of those guys. He's one of
yeah.
those guys. I'm not even convinced that he told the woman, because the woman who exposed him,
Mm,
uh, she said that he told her he and his wife were separated. Now, I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Maybe she thought she was going to be the mistress and she was going to come up as a result of being a
mm-hmm.
mistress. Yeah,
Yeah.
you never know. There's always two sides to a story. And at this point in my life, I have to remember that. I have to remember that, and it behooves everybody to remember. There's always two sides to a story.
It's his
So
side, it's her side, and then there's the truth.
exactly, exactly. So Derrick Jaxn, whether he bounces back or not, I don't really give a shit. But you know, I mean, I think that his fans who were deeply rooted in his words, they were holding on to every breath. I think they got what they deserved.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they got what they deserved.
So
And yeah,
so I mean, this could work for him too. It could be, hey, I'm not above anybody else, and that's kind of what he was saying in his video. Like, I'm not perfect, and some people might be like, you're right, ain't nobody perfect. So, he can play it. I mean, he's a master manipulator. That's why I think he's gonna be
yeah.
back.
Oh
He's
yeah.
very
Oh,
good at what he does.
he be back. He's not going anywhere. I'm positive. Oh, did we lose Keno? I am positive he's got some messages in his DM talking about I know how to shut up.
Right.
I know how to keep it on the down low. Probably got R. Kelly playing in the background.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, he probably got exposed because he didn't make a payment or whatever he was supposed to do, then hold up his end of the bargain. Or maybe he was done with him and they was like, oh, nah, you ain't done with me. Let me blow your shit up.
Yeah, well, I mean, karma. If you believe in karma, well, it's a mother.
Yeah, I
Karma
heard one of the
can be
chicks
a
he was
mother.
smashing was named Karma.
Really?
He believed in karma.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is, take everything with a grain of salt. Don't let a single individual tell you what you should expect. For especially like he doesn't have a psychology degree, as far as I could tell. Healing and healthy relationships, God's way.
Yeah.
Romans 8:31 through 39. That's what
Yeah.
that is what is at the top of his Instagram.
He is a predator. And you know what? I don't believe you got to have degrees to be intelligent and be able to speak to certain things. But, some things you got to be careful. And like I say, I listen to a lot of people on the internet. And if they're saying, if they're talking something good, I'll listen. Like, I don't discredit anybody. But if it has some good validity, what they're talking about, I'll listen. And, you learn from people. So
It's the
this is,
internet. I can't advocate that.
yeah.
Everybody's full of shit until I prove they're not.
No, that's what I'm saying. You definitely don't take it for face value. You definitely do research and whatnot. But I've learned a lot from people on the internet, and there's some people on the internet that have taken my IQ points down a few. But like I said, you just gotta discern what's good for you and what's bad.
True enough. True enough.
Yeah,
Well, hey, much love to I don't know how to pronounce her name. I almost put it up there. I think it's Naya or something. But much love to the Jacksons.
yeah,
I hope they are able to
and I can't help to say
uh,
she looks so churchy, gullible. I mean, it's just the energy. Not saying that she should have been a bitch or rolling her neck or snapping her fingers or it's my none of that. I'm just saying she just I don't know. I,
Oh,
I hope
I
she's
started
okay.
to pull. I started to pull the video in just so we could do a little body language communication
Yeah,
experiment,
yeah,
but opted against that. But her body language in the video says so much different from
yeah,
what's actually going on in the video. So
yeah.
I just took a few pics. Like I said, this one, then
Yeah,
that
she's
one.
definitely she's definitely out of her comfort zone. That is 100% what we can all agree on. She is definitely out of her comfort zone. Now, why she's out of her comfort zone, we don't really know the reasons. But yeah, she's definitely being put in a uncomfortable position. But I don't think she's going anywhere. She just doesn't.
Yeah,
She seems loyal. She seems loyal to a fault.
yeah, she may. Well, loyal to a fault. I don't know if that.
And hey,
I
ain't
don't
too
know if
many
I.
brothers out here making a hundred thousand a month. Really think long and hard before you walk out. All right, all
See,
right.
I had to fact check that. I mean,
Yeah,
because that doesn't look like 100,000 a month house. But I don't know. It's just a
Brother,
little
these
bit.
internet dudes are making cake. That
Okay.
that might be one of their houses. We don't know.
That's true. That's true. I'm not in the man's
Yeah,
pocket. I don't really
yeah,
care. But yeah, man. So Derrick Jaxn, yeah, it's unfortunate that all the ladies had to find out that they're ladies. Oh, and this is another thing I wanted to say. I think the internet is the new is YouTube is where people are getting their church from.
yeah, yeah.
YouTube is where people are getting their church from, and this was church for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it had all the elements, drama, cheating, scandal, all that. We're drawn to this. There's a lot of moths hitting this screen, going to the light. So yeah, this is what reality TV what attracts a lot of people. So that's why I think he ain't going nowhere. I think people are going to tune in to see where this is going to go. So
Oh, he's going to keep doing the exact same thing he's been doing, which is telling the ladies why they should deserve to be on a pedestal, and why the man that they're messing with isn't shit.
yeah,
I have no doubt. I'd be shocked if he changes his tone at all.
yeah,
I'd be shocked.
yeah,
Of course, I probably won't know it because I don't follow him like that.
yeah. I don't listen to him, but
But
anyway.
yeah,
I think
so
we've done our time. Shout out to Derrick Jaxn, man. I hope the best for you.
hey, I want to see everybody succeed, and that is the truth. So yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I hope he recovers well from it. To be quite honest.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
Keno. Well, it's time to let Friday begin.
Yeah, the
So,
night is young, and I gotta hit these streets, shouty. Yeah.
well, hey, thank you for watching the Advocators. Appreciate you taking the time to check us out. We will be back. I don't know if we're going to be back next Friday. We
No, we
might be
will
back
not.
2 Fridays. I don't know. We might be back next Friday. We might just be missing somebody.
Here gonna hammer.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
I will be I will be traveling Easter weekend. So yeah,
Oh,
if I can work it out, yeah, we'll be back.
all right. Well, thanks again for watching the Advocators. I am JoJo.
And I'm Keno Trice.
Have a great weekend.
Peace.